What is up, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of the
Episode eight.
Fielders. What's that?
I was saying episode 8.
Episode 8 of the Fielder's Choice podcast. Gib has it on his notepad. I am Dan Field. All the way to the left, viewers left, my right is Matthew Giblin. And in the middle, of course, we got Mrs. Angie Santamaro. Sorry we're late tonight. A crazy busy day for all of us. My team just lost a heartbreaker in the 28-plus BMBL. I had to manage tonight in place of Orazio, and we were winning the whole game. We're up 3 runs, 8-5, going to the last inning, and Luke Backer hit a 3-run bomb to tie it up, and then he ended up hitting his 3rd home run of the game in extra innings to win it. Depressing loss. I just came back from that. Did not expect it to go into extra innings. That is why we're late tonight. It's all my fault. But we're here now. And
D, correct me if I'm wrong. You had a pretty good record as acting manager.
That was my first loss.
No way.
Yeah, first loss managing the Senators.
Well, we go down fighting anyways, huh? Extra inning.
It was a battle. It was a battle. And everyone knows it was hot as hell today.
It was
did
bad.
not help.
Was it ever?
Yeah. And then, of course, I umped before that game, was running late. That, ran late, started late. So I didn't get to the Senators game till like 5 minutes before start time. So
Just that kind of day.
Yeah. I know you guys were busy as well. Such is the life of umpires and baseball players.
Yep.
It's what
But
you signed
baseball
up
always
for.
comes first. Yep.
Yes.
So it's okay.
Right?
But we're here now. Sunday night, episode 8, and we got a good one in store.
Hey, let's go.
Deep
Let's
breath.
go already.
Gib, you had a long game today, huh? 3 hour?
3 hours.
Game?
I mean, the heat.
Wow.
The heat is bad.
It's tough. The heat it felt like it was getting hotter as the day went on.
Yeah, I think it was.
As it was.
I think it did. Yeah.
But yeah, this is probably one of the longer ones I've had in quite some time. The last 3-4 innings just seemed to drag. But, I mean, it's tough. Got to play. Were we complaining when it was 40 degrees, back in April? Yes.
I was. Yes, I was.
We're never happy. We're never happy in New England.
No, we're not. But it'd be nice to get some, beautiful weather. I lived for those days.
Yeah. The nice September days.
Right? Early October.
75 degrees, nice breeze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The breeze helped today.
Oh, yeah.
The breeze definitely was a lifesaver today. I mean, without it. And you got to stay hydrated. Walter was saying that we lost a lot of guys who just, they're not able to kind of keep up, So it's important to, even when you're playing, too, stay hydrated. I swear, I don't think enough people do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, and Tuesday is supposed to be over
Even
100 degrees.
I tell you what, you don't believe in global warming. I don't know what to tell you.
It seems more.
That is
more
not
real.
even a conversation. At that
not
point,
for us.
you just failed high school. That's all that means.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't
So-
need to get into
Paying
that. Yeah, nope. And that's okay.
So Angie and I, we attended our first Beep baseball game on
is awesome.
Saturday.
It was so cool.
How
we
was
each
it?
got a ball.
Yep.
One of the balls with a nice little note
Yep.
on it. It was great. I mean, there was a lot of people there. There was a ton of fans, family, friends. It was a huge field. There's 3 or 4 different baseball fields.
Yep.
Learned a whole lot. It was, it was crazy. They got smoked, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Well, I guess the team. Well,
first
Rob
game.
was telling me that the team that they played, that was their 8th game, and it was the Renegades' first game.
Wow.
So
eighth game.
it was their 8th game of the season, and it was the Renegades' first game of the season. So
So tell me, did that team have to you guys, all right, to the new eye, did they have a competitive advantage?
yes,
They had a good
they
team.
were hitting.
They had a good team. There were definitely some ball players. Philly Fire.
Yeah.
And I think they're the defending World Series champions.
Yeah.
From what?
They won last year, is what Rob said.
Yeah, man, Rob was intense.
He he was a manager. He
I
was a
mean,
coach.
you
Like,
could tell from our interview with him,
yeah,
like he puts his heart and soul into it,
Yep.
yeah,
and I mean, yeah, I think you have to, right?
yeah,
If you love it that much,
yeah.
go get it.
Yeah, yeah,
It was nothing. Well, I shouldn't say nothing, but watching it, I didn't understand it. I thought I understood it when he was explaining it to us, like how they played the game,
We didn't
and
do it
then
justice,
watching
huh?
it, I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, what?" It was so cool.
yeah. It was very cool and very hot.
Yep, it was very
Um,
hot. Benny was in a tent.
I
yeah,
And there was a
tent was
cute
a
little seeing eye dog there, and the one of the I guess his owner was like, "Oh, he can like go lay with whatever the dog's name was," but their tent was small, so it was like they were too close together. So Benny tried it, and he was just like, "I don't want to be this
I don't
close
want to
to
have
anything
it.
with fur." Yeah, so he found his own tent that was unoccupied.
By the way, I thought that was your tent that you brought. I was like, wow, you
No,
guys came prepared. And then you left, and the tent was still there. I was like, oh, they
yeah, no, that tent
stole
was just
someone's tent.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was hot. And there was
Yeah.
no shade, so it was
Yeah.
warm. But they played their hearts out, and watching Sean play and the other players, it was something I would love to go watch again.
Yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we each got these cool. These are
Yep.
like
Oh.
heavy.
What? Yeah.
It's intense. And there was a couple of times the pitcher took like a line drive right off, like his,
Right back
like,
at him.
stomach and almost
Yeah,
his face.
I saw it last
Like,
night. That thing
1
is
pound
pretty
ball.
pretty heavy, huh? Like,
Yeah, yeah, that's
can
crazy.
do some damage with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And they went through like 3 or 4 balls that broke.
From
Yeah.
what, hitting the end of them, or
Yeah,
just like
they-
smashing them?
If you hit it in the wrong spot, like the speaker just
Yeah.
breaks. And there was like easily 3 or 4 balls that they quickly lost. That no longer worked. They stopped.
Well, I mean,
stopped
and they're
beeping.
using metal bats, so
Right,
mean-
right?
bat on ball, and they were
Yeah.
hitting. They were hitting.
Yeah.
There was no joke, like some real good hits, legit
Yeah.
hits.
And Philly Fire's best player, he missed a home run by like that much, I think, in the first game at least,
Mm-hmm.
which is the one we stayed for.
Awesome.
But that's why they need donations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I put the website up on our Facebook page, Fielder's
Yeah.
Choice Podcast. Each one of these balls are like $40. You know, I thought our baseballs
crazy.
in our leagues were
Yeah.
expensive.
Yep.
But yeah, $40 per baseball, which is crazy.
And you're going through at least 3 or 4 a game. Like, come on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adds up
Yep.
quick.
Yep. But this week we got a very special guest. He's a teammate of mine on the 28 plus Senators and the BMBL. I know he's a former pitcher for the Lexington Blue Sox in the Intercity Baseball League. He was diagnosed with MS at age 19 while a pitcher at WPI, and he's got a pretty cool story to tell. Shall we bring in our
Yeah, I'm
special
excited. Let's bring him.
guest?
Absolutely. I'm looking
Yes.
forward to it. Yeah.
All right. 1 second. Let's get him in here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mr. Aidan Freeburg. Where's the...
Hey, Aaron, what's up? Thanks for being here.
Welcome to the show, buddy. Appreciate you being on. Oh, let me unmute
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
There we go.
There we go.
Welcome. Yeah, I was just telling you in the pre-show, we lost a heartbreaker. We certainly could have used you on the mound tonight.
Yep.
Devastating loss. But we're over
Yeah, it's
it.
tough
We're
way to
over
go
it.
out.
Yeah. And again, that's why we're late. So apologies. But yeah, welcome to the show. If you could, for those who don't know you, introduce yourself and
Yeah.
tell the people who you are.
Yeah. So Aidan Freeburg, like you mentioned, I'm from Arlington, Mass. Went to Arlington Catholic for high school, and then graduated from there in 2013. Made my way to Worcester Polytechnic Institute, or WPI. Played baseball there, studied mechanical engineering, um, and graduated fall of, trying to remember, 2019. Yeah, so been playing baseball my entire life. Absolutely, first love it. Like fell in love with it, playing t-ball, and gonna keep on playing till my arm falls off, um, or falls off again or something.
Mm,
Um, yeah, no, it's absolutely love it. Keep on playing as long as I can.
you had to think all the way
Mhm.
back to 2019. I graduated in 2000. So,
I
Okay.
graduated
so
in 99,
well,
please.
I'm
Yep.
talking about college.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I got
Yeah.
you all beat. So,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
All right, never
yeah,
mind.
I was
We're
a
talking
late
about high
bloomer,
school.
so
yeah.
That's fair.
High school for
Yep.
me was 96. But I was a class of
Okay.
2000, which is pretty cool. URI.
Hmm.
Go Rams.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, Suffolk were the Rams too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
we
Yeah.
were the Rams.
WPI
Oh,
the goats.
no.
So
See,
nice.
Uh,
I
All
pretty
right.
close.
graduated high school in the year 2000. You couldn't have.
no, I graduated college in 2000.
Ah,
High
yeah,
school
that
90,
makes sense.
96.
Yeah,
And I have a couple of friends that went to WPI. You know, Max and Paul Gibb.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
yep.
So what, Aiden? How much baseball playing you doing, and how much military code you writing these days?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so I'm playing like Dan said, playing in the 28 plus. Still pitching a little bit in the Intercity League.
Oh, you
Every
are?
once in a
Oh,
while. Yeah, occasionally. I like to a lot of the younger guys who are still in college that are, pumping like 90s.
oh yeah. I
Like,
forget his
yeah,
name.
can't really compete with that.
Dude,
So
it's impressive, isn't it, man?
it's terrifying.
Right?
It's tough.
And
So
there's so
Yeah.
many of them too, right? These
Yeah.
days, it seems like
Bananas.
they're.
uh,
It's not like when we like first got out of school. It's
mm-mm.
like a dime a dozen now. It's unreal. It seems
Oh, and
Yeah.
you get the high school kids too that are like juniors, seniors in high school that are
right behind them.
Hmm.
easily, putting up like touching 90,
Oh yeah.
and it's crazy. So
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like 90's the standard lately. Like, if you don't throw 100, like
Yeah.
90 seems like nothing.
I think it's kind
That,
of been the standard for a while.
Yeah.
They're not even
yep.
looking at you if you
Yeah.
can't. I think
And,
yeah,
and I
but
don't.
that's why everyone's getting Tommy John when they're like 23.
I think it's part of it.
Yeah.
True.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't remember kids in high school being this big when I was in high school. Like, I don't know what they're
No.
eating. I know I've said it time and time again, but they're huge. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But Aiden, so if you could take us back to 2014, I
Yep.
think that was the year you got your diagnosis of MS.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how that all kind of came about? Do you have
Yeah.
some symptoms, and if you could give
Yeah.
us
It
that
was
story?
give a kind of a quick explanation of MS as a whole. So MS stands for multiple sclerosis, which means multiple scars. Um, and these scars are I call them lesions. So if you imagine a kind of your USB cord that goes between your computer and a device, you think of those as your nerves, right? Those go from your brain down your spinal cord all to extremities. And so what MS does is it's a disease that essentially acts as a wire stripper, right? It strips the wires on your nerves, right? So the nerve is like that little copper wire that sends the signal from your brain to your extremities. And MS damages that outer tissue around the protective tissue around the nerve, right? Um, and those little spots where the wire has been stripped, um, those are called the lesions. And so that's what MS does. Um, so those lesions can kind of happen really anywhere in the brain and spine. Um, so for me, they a lot of the symptoms for MS can um, be all over the place. They can be many different things. So they can be anything from like tingling in your arms or legs, or a lot of patients will have trouble with their sight. They'll get optic neuritis. So they'll have little black spots or graying or things like that. Um, and they're oftentimes it can take a while to diagnose that because they behave like a lot of other symptoms of um, uh, different disorders or different things. And so the way it presented for me was, I was in my sophomore year at the time, at WPI. I had pulled my hamstring in the fall, and it was getting better for a while. Um, I had been going to PT, started to feel better, started getting some sciatica um, in my left leg. Um, and from there, we started looking at what potential causes could be. Um, got an MRI in my lumbar spine. Um, we thought it was like a compressed disc or something, but the doctors weren't quite sure. Um, did more PT for another couple months, and from there we then it ended up getting worse. And so where I was having trouble feeling my foot, that sort of thing. And at one point, I went to the team doctor, and he was saying, "Hey, like if you have any other symptoms, and it sounds kind of weird, but if you start going to the bathroom a lot, um, like and that sort of thing, go to the hospital, right? Go to the ER." And I was very confused at the time because I had, why is this? Why is my like a pulled hamstring or sciatica? Why? How does that have anything to do with this? But later that night, I like that's exactly what happened. It was just I felt like I needed to go to the bathroom a lot, um, and and so I was like, all right, well, let's listen to the doctor and go on in.
Smart.
Um, yeah, exactly. Listen to the doctor, people.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so ended up going into UMass Memorial at the time, out in Worcester. They were fantastic and helped me out, and took a while to kind of figure out. Took a couple days. Started doing MRIs. Ended up doing a um, brain and cervical spine MRI, along with spinal tap or a lumbar puncture, to and at the time that was a part of the diagnostic procedure where they gain spinal fluid and they do some testing on that. Um, ended up figuring out, from the results of the spinal fluid, um, as well as imaging on the MRI, that I had a couple lesions in my cervical spine and my brain stem and my brain as well. Um, Came back with the diagnosis of MS. Um, and so that was, yeah, end of first semester in my sophomore year at WPI.
Wow.
Well,
That
um,
sucks.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I mentioned this when we were texting earlier, but my best
yeah.
friend actually was diagnosed with MS2 about
Oh yeah.
14 years ago. It's probably roughly, honestly, around the same time as you. She was in
Yep.
her 30s.
Okay.
She had kind of self-diagnosed herself before because that's the kind of human she is.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but because of her, I know that there are two different types of MS.
Hmm.
And do you mind sharing with us which type you have and the differences, if you can?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. So they're like you said, there are two main types. One is a progressive, which, as it sounds, is you get symptoms, and they progress. They don't necessarily heal or recover. Um, and the other is the type that I have is relapsing and remitting, which is
Hmm.
what'll happen is you'll get a new lesion, it'll inflame, and then you kind of pumped up full of immunosuppressant steroids,
Hmm.
and it suppresses the activity of that lesion, right?
Hmm.
And so then for the most part, you kind of recover any sort of uh, symptoms that you might have been having. There could be um, uh, leftover day-to-day symptoms, things like
Hmm.
that, that'll
Hmm.
happen.
Yeah.
But unlike the progressive, where for the most part, you get a new lesion and those symptoms will stick around.
Hmm.
You could recover a little bit, but for the most part, they kind of pile on to each other, which can make things much more difficult. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all of
Yeah.
that. And when you kind of first heard this news, you first got the diagnosis, what was that like for you, like mentally
Mm.
and physically, to kind of, I guess, take it all in?
Yeah, it was it sucked. It really did. I've been incredibly lucky, and I will continue to say that I have an incredible support network. My family has been fantastic. My family was right there with me the entire way. Um, and continuing on now, my family's still there. My fiance is helping me all the time. Um, actually had an infusion yesterday, and she drove me to the infusion and was there with me the entire time. So um, support network is huge. It really is. Um, but when you're first diagnosed, especially when you're young like that, um, it's tough. It's tough
Yeah.
because there is certainly a almost a grieving process that you have to go through, um, that you really have to kind of accept, at least work on trying to accept, what this means, right?
Yeah.
Because it you have to grieve the person that you thought you were going to be,
Yeah.
right? Because in effect, you are losing that, right?
Right.
That is something that is not going to be there anymore. And once you work on it, you're like, okay, that's okay, right? But when you're first diagnosed, it's tough. You kind of fight against that. You think, you know, why did this happen? Could I have done anything better? Um,
Right.
and the answers are really no. Like
Right.
there's no real explanation. There's no reasoning behind it. Um, it's not like I was making poor decisions. I was in the best shape of my life,
Right.
like a college athlete.
19.
I,
You're 19 years
right,
old.
19.
Right.
Exactly. So
Right.
there's no real explanation for it. But yeah, like family and team, like baseball has been incredible for that. Um, Having a group of guys around you to help um, pick
Yeah.
you up when you're not feeling well,
Hmm.
um, and having that ability year round effectively. I had college baseball during 8, 9 months of the year, and then summer baseball during the rest. So it's
Hmm.
been great to have that support system around.
And when you say infusions, just because, like I said, I just know a little bit more. These are the 4 hour long. Is that the one that you're
Yep.
doing, or it's 4 hours and you do it every 6 months? Is it? Is
Yep.
that okay?
Yeah.
All right. And so,
Yeah. So there's a lot of different, they call them disease modifying therapies.
hmm
Um, and because for MS there's no cure.
right.
There's no way to they call it remyelinate, the tissue, that insulating, um, example I gave earlier about the USB cord.
Right.
The myelin tissue is what they call it. That protects the nerve, right?
hmm
And so the MS is a demyelinating disease. So remyelinating would be healing that nerve.
Right.
There's no way currently, to remyelinate the nerves. Um, they are working on it. There are some promising things going on, and
hmm
there's a lot of promising stuff going on in the Boston area, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there are a number of different disease modifying therapies. The one that I take is called Ocrevus, or
hmm
ocrelizumab. Um, and yeah, I get it about every 6 months. So it lasts um,
hmm
about 3 hours, um, and then I come back in about 6 months and get it again. So far,
hmm
so good. So yeah,
That's great. My girl
exactly.
Allie's on the same one.
Yeah,
So
yep.
yeah.
It's been I've been doing it for about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years.
hmm
And again, fingers crossed. So far, since I've been taking it, I haven't had any new flares or new lesions. So
It's
She said
awesome.
it's a game changer from the daily injections.
I had to do
So
those, and
yeah.
those were tough.
Yeah.
Those were real tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is something you have to do for like the rest of your life, unless they come out with some a
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. But again, like compared to, I was doing a 3 time a week injection cycle.
Wow. Wow.
That was tough.
Yeah.
And that was a self injection, and those were at the time it was really hard to keep up because sometimes they have side effects. And so, trying to play college baseball while also getting a mechanical engineering degree
Right.
and having to deal
Right.
with like 3 times a week side effects, that it was just I couldn't do it. Um, so this is just so much better.
Aiden, you had mentioned like how instrumental and important the social support system around you was, and
Mm,
that's what I thought about when you initially said this and you were initially diagnosed. Like how like something like this would have just crushed my mother, you know. But
hmm
like, can you talk about the impact that this had on like your friends and family? Like you
hmm
said that they were there to pick you up, and I don't
Yeah,
doubt they were, but like,
yeah.
how did this kind of affect your parents when this first happened?
Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah, no, it was hard. It was really hard. I can't speak for my parents, but we've talked a lot about it, and um, they were devastated. Um,
Hmm.
it's something that you can't imagine um, happening, especially to your child that's doing relatively well at the time, right? I,
Right.
I was feeling good. I was doing what I wanted to do, and I was um,
You're
doing it
happy.
relatively well, and I was feeling healthy. Um, and then to have this kind of come out of nowhere was just a bomb drop, right? Um, but again, it was that grieving process, grieving together, and going to therapy. Like that was one of the ways that I dealt with it, and therapy helped me so incredibly much. Um, and also just talking with my parents too, explaining to them kind of as I understood it better and as understand it now better, just kind of giving my perspective. Because the more I think the more that we communicate, in general is better, but the more we can communicate, um, especially with these quote unquote like invisible diseases, right? Mental health, but also invisible diseases that are, um, a lot of time with MS, you can't see it, right? Um, if I were walking down the street, no one could tell that I have MS, right?
Hmm.
Um, so the more that we talk about that, the more that it helps kind of communicate, like, hey, you know, most of the time I'm fine, right? Like I don't need anything special most of the time. Like, um, I'll let you know if I'm having a hard time. The heat can be tough for me sometimes, or if I'm walking for a long time, I might have leftover symptoms from a flare that I had, 7, 8 years ago, right?
Hmm.
But other than that, like I'll keep you posted, right? Whereas as someone else might be like, hey, like I need to make sure wherever we're going, um, I need the entrance to be accessible, right? Because I have walking assistance that I need, right?
Hmm.
Things like that. So that the more communication we can have and the more awareness that we can have of, hey, just understand that some people might need, um, just a modification.
Yeah.
But other than that, most of the time, everyone's pretty understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea the first year you played with the Senators that, um, yeah, you had MS, and I only found out through the Old Timers game that you
Mm,
play in and reading about that, which we'll talk about in
yeah.
a little bit. But did you know anyone else, or do you know anyone else that suffers, family or friends that suffer from
Mm.
from MS? Is
Yeah, I've
is
got
and is
a
this hereditary? Is it, or is it?
some yes and no. I, from what I understand, they've there's a higher risk if you have, family genetics, with it. I don't completely understand, everything about it, but, as far as I know, there is some, familial, ties there. I
Hmm.
haven't had anyone in my family that has had it, um, but again, they're doing more research on it and getting to know things a little bit better. Yeah, but I have connected with, more and more people through, um, networking events, fundraisers, things like that. Getting to know people with MS. One of my really good friends, his now wife, has it, and um, she's a rock star. She kicks our butts on at golf like every time we go out, just like um, and she played college hockey and um, so yeah, there are a lot of people out there that are doing incredible things um, that have MS that are yeah, doing life really well.
For sure. This isn't a question that is on that we talked about kind of like in the pre-programming, whatever, but you
Yeah.
said something about mental health, and I just want to circle back to that for 1 second, if you
Mm,
don't mind.
of course.
And just kind of talking about how therapy helped you through it. And I think that I think I've mentioned this before on the podcast. I'm a therapist, and I think that there
Mm,
isn't enough spotlight on men's mental health. And
hmm
number one, I just want to thank you for kind of talking about that and being vulnerable and kind of mentioning that that was something that you relied on. But also, can how did how did that come about? I mean, did you kind of seek it? Did somebody mention it to you? Did you just kind of say like, look, I just need to figure this out? Or how did that happen? Because I feel like it's not as easy for men to say, I need a therapist or I want to go.
Right.
So talk to me a little bit about that, or talk to us a little bit
Yeah.
about that, or just
Yeah.
me because I really want to
No,
know.
absolutely. Absolutely. In general, with MS, um, a lot of the time it is a disease that is diagnosed in women more than in men. So um, now their new diagnostic procedures are shifting that a little bit, but for a long time it was primarily women that were diagnosed. Um, so initially it was very it was also isolating for me because there
Mm,
were not a lot of men's faces that had MS. Um, and so I would go to, they suggest support networks or support groups and things like that. And I would go in and it would be me and a number of women, which is not necessarily a bad thing, right? But it was, again, it was like it was different. It
but
was
it's still
tough.
isolating. You talked about it being isolating. That's still isolating,
Exactly.
Yeah.
even though
Right.
it's
Yeah.
not supposed to be.
Hmm.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's my parents have been fantastic with my brother and I, and introduced us to talk therapy early in our life, um, and so there was less stigma around that for myself,
wonderful.
That's awesome.
which was great,
Yeah.
and so yeah, it was. I knew that I was going to need.
Oh, you're
Uh,
sideways.
oh, what did I
Huh?
do?
Dan, what do you
Nothing. How
do?
did that happen?
What did I do?
You didn't do anything. It just did
All
it.
right,
This happened before. I'm not sure how it happens.
let's see if I
Uh,
can fix anything.
Um,
Uh,
you could rejoin, maybe. Um, that's funny. You didn't touch anything,
maybe.
that
right?
is funny. No,
No,
he was
just
just sitting there
randomly
and he
did it.
just did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before.
Let's see if I can tilt myself. Yeah,
There
maybe.
you go.
No,
But Aiden,
no.
shout while you're doing that, shout out to your parents for raising
Yes.
kids who like
Absolutely.
kind of
Yeah.
didn't see a
Absolutely.
stigma around talk therapy, and I think that's wonderful. So,
Yeah. Yes.
yay
Absolutely.
therapy.
Absolutely.
Do
All right.
Hmm.
you want to rejoin?
Um,
You want to
let's see
Rejoin.
rejoin?
if I can
Yeah, or if you can switch it.
exit camera preview. Oh boy. Let's see if I can turn this off. Maybe.
I
Nope.
don't know why this happens. So
Mhm.
weird.
Well, while you're doing that, I can just tell you that I've tried to get my friend who has it, my friend Allie, to get a support pony,
Yes.
like
Do it.
like a service pony,
Or cat.
um, or
I
or
have
cat.
behind
I don't
me.
know, but I
Yeah.
really just want her to get the pony so that she can just start riding it when she needs to.
That's fantastic.
But they have those little like mini horses, those Shetland, the Shetland horses are like the size of Great Danes.
Yeah, sure. I
Yeah,
like them. Yeah.
yeah. I feel
Yep.
like that would help her with a lot of things. And then when she needs a ride, she gets a ride.
Animals,
I
man.
Mm,
I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
My fiance's working to become a therapist, and she's
oh, wonderful.
one of the places she's working
It's in the
has
blood.
animal uh, animal therapy as well, farm therapy. So
Oh,
I believe they
awesome.
have a pony as well. So
Love it.
that's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna try
Yeah,
and rejoin, see
yeah.
if that
Okay,
works.
Why
yeah.
don't you try rejoin?
All right.
All right. Oh,
All right.
Okay.
While he does that.
While he does that, are we up on Facebook yet? Because the live feed wasn't
Yeah, so
feeding.
I don't know what happened. I created the event, and for some reason, I kept giving me an error, cannot connect. I don't know why. So that's why I shared the live. We're live on YouTube. So I shared the link to that on our Facebook page.
Go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go
Or
now.
yeah, the link is on
Or-
our Facebook. Oh, he's back.
Or they're already watching it on
let's-
YouTube.
I hope so.
Yeah, he's back.
I mean, this is a great story. You know,
This
he's
is
got
yeah,
to
we go.
enjoy it.
Yeah. Sorry, not sure.
yeah,
Not sure
That's a
what
little
happened
better.
there.
yeah. All right.
Do you have
So Aidan, oh sorry.
No, I was gonna ask if he had a wedding date yet.
Oh,
Kept
Yep.
saying his.
Yep.
Yeah? When is
I'm
it?
getting married this fall. Thank you
All
very much.
right.
Congratulations.
Yeah. In October. Yeah. Thank you.
lovely.
Very nice.
So
So
full
then
swing
what?
of planning.
The
Oh yeah.
miniature pony after that, and then the babies.
That's what we're thinking. Like
All right.
farm full of ponies. Yeah. I'm gonna have to ask her first on that. So
They do have wedding llamas. I tried to get wedding
Really?
llamas. My husband said no. But yeah, they
No?
just kind of show up and hang out. Yeah, he said no. But that's
All right.
okay.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll ask. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, they do have them.
Yep.
But to jump back into the questions that were regularly scheduled,
Yes.
you say that you didn't really know anybody who had MS. It wasn't in your family. Did you know much about it beforehand, so that when you kind of learned of your diagnosis, that information was the scary part, or you didn't know anything and that's why it was kind of like what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah. No, it was I didn't really know much about it.
Okay.
I had a connection with the Blue Sox. The Lexington Blue Sox, the Intercity League. And I started playing there in this when was it? It was actually right after my freshman year, so
Yeah.
2014,
2014. Yeah.
I believe it was. Yeah. So right before I was diagnosed, actually. But so I was actually able to connect with the Frady's family, Pete Frady's,
Wonderful.
Andrew and his brother. And,
Everyone knows the iceberg ice bucket
Yeah.
challenge.
Iceberg.
Iceberg, ice
Ice
bucket.
The Titanic
Too
challenge.
much. Too much sun. Too much sun.
Too much fun today.
Yeah.
So I was able to connect. I met Pete a number of times. I talked with him. I knew his story. Met with his brother and his parents. So I got to know a little bit more about ALS. And initially it was a little scary because I recognized some of the symptoms that he had mentioned.
Right.
So for me, when I first went into the hospital, I started recognizing some of the symptoms, and it's very similar to ALS, which was obviously terrifying. And so luckily I was able to do some research, and figure out that, there was no connection there, at least, from what I had, right? They are MS and ALS are somewhat similar in that they are degenerative nervous system diseases, but it was, other than that, I didn't really know much about it, honestly. So I just started learning and asking as many questions as I possibly could. So everything from asking doctors to researching, looking up, peer-reviewed articles, things like that. Being at WPI, exactly. Being at WPI, I was able to ask, questions of the biomedical professors there, and get suggestions. Knowing that I didn't know everything about it, so ask the experts, right? And trust the
Go to the
experts,
source.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Shout out peer reviewed.
exactly, right.
Multiple
And so
times.
yes, yeah. And so and these things are always changing, right? That's the thing is going to it was great going to a technology school. You understand that science is always changing. right? So things that we accept now might not work in the future, and things that, 100 years ago, curing cancer meant strapping on like a, chunk of nuclear material to the
Right.
tumor. So it's like
Right.
there's things that are always changing,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but yeah, trying to understand everything from diet to medicine to things to avoid, um,
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of different things. Yeah.
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 Wow. Yeah.
Water
And
intake.
did you see Zach's comment on YouTube?
I did not.
He said, "Marry yourself a therapist equals never win an argument again." So,
But he likes it.
have fun with that,
But he
Aidan.
likes it.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, Aidan, I think of like the ball player in me. Like,
Mhm.
what's your game day routine like? Having this diagnosis. How much is it has changed? Hey, I commend you for still being able to get out on the field. I mean,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It's yeah, it initially it's it was tough. It was kind of hard to figure out what worked, what didn't. Um, a lot of the things that generally affect MS day to day are heat, and fatigue, and stress as well. Um, right. So, um, playing baseball down in Florida or things like that, if we were going on our school trips, um, that could be tough, but understanding ways to accommodate that. So again, not necessarily a ton different, um, but just packing a small cooler full of ice, an extra like towel or things like that to, wet ice towel, things like that to cool off between innings. So I'm a pitcher, and so I'd be out there, and um, if I had a tough inning, like that could be extra taxing, right? So figuring out ways to make sure, um, whether that's, um, making sure that your undershirt is extra breathable, or you bring ice, you bring extra water,
change of clothes.
change your clothes, things like that, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just these small little tweaks, that you change up, and you're good to go. Yeah.
Talk about being vulnerable. I was recently diagnosed with some heart disease, so I'm
Mm,
on a lot of new medication, which has
okay.
some similar effects with the heat
Mm,
and like how much water I have to drink. So I see what you're saying, and I've had to do
yeah.
a lot of the similar things. Make sure I got uh, changes, extra t-shirts, and make sure I have two things of water. And
Mm,
there's nothing I
Mm-hmm.
can do about the heat, but if I'm going to be out in, if I'm going to keep doing the thing that I love to do, then I'm going to best prepare as much as I
Mm-hmm.
can, and I'm going to learn everything that I need
Mm-hmm.
to about this, so
right.
that I'm keeping myself healthy and alive for my family and my
Yeah.
kids, right? Which is what's
Yeah.
most important at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. No, and I'm glad to hear that you're working hard on it, and then it seems like you know
Certainly not easy, right?
no, it's not. No, it is not. It's
No.
definitely a life-changing thing, and again, yeah, that attitude of, trying to be as accepting as possible of it, right? Of
Mm-hmm.
saying, hey, unfortunately, this isn't going to change anytime soon, right?
Right.
But
This is my new way
what
of life.
Mm-hmm.
exactly? But what
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
change is my approach,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
right? And then
Mm-hmm.
from there you tackle things one at a time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did the thought of quitting baseball ever cross your mind, or was it something you just said, "I'm playing no matter what I have to do"?
That's a great question. I can't say it didn't cross my mind. I didn't think of it in terms of me giving it up. I thought of it more as it being taken away. Um, because in my mind it wasn't an option. It was
Mm-hmm.
this is one of the things that I love to do, and I'm going to do it as long as I possibly can,
Aiden,
no matter how I do it. Yeah.
did you did you ever feel like you had to ask the doctors that question and get the answer from them?
So actually, there were a couple times that they they encouraged me to slow down.
Mm.
And there were a couple of nurses that told me I would have to stop, and I just said no, sorry,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
not
not
going to
listening to
happen.
them either.
Um, but and that also it was a source of motivation in some aspects. There were times when it was actually after my junior year, um, I had a pretty scary flare, a new lesion, um, during the summer. Um, After my junior year at WPI. And this particular flare, I was having like weakness and drooping in the side of my face, um, due to like lots of stress, and I ended up having a new lesion. But it was from heat, it was from stress. Well, they don't quite know what it was from. But there was a lot of heat and a lot of stress going
Mhm.
on,
They're
and
leaning towards that.
right. And so, mentioning that, like, hey, it might be a good idea to take a back seat this year, take a redshirt year, come back,
Mhm.
and I ended up doing that, um, which was really, really hard. Um, it was not easy. I was again, very lucky to have my team had my back, my coaches had my back, things like that. But internally, it was not easy. It was a um, uh, this thought of like,
Battle within.
Mhm.
right, I've been doing this for,
Yeah.
15 plus years, almost 20 years now playing baseball, and like
Counting the
what's
hours that pass where you should be there and you're not. Like,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And it wasn't easy. Uh, that um the spring of my junior year is when I actually had um my largest flare, most difficult flare. They found two very, very large lesions in my brain. Um, so I took a redshirt year actually, um, uh, and that following spring in my senior year, yeah, they found two large lesions. Ended up losing all feeling from about my chest or abdomen down on my right side. Um, um, so I had to take about 6, 8 months relearning how to walk. Spent about 5 months on a cane. So that spring, which would have been my senior year, playing my fourth year of eligibility, I spent that spring, um, 3, 4 times a week in um, an underwater treadmill, relearning how to walk, at physical therapy. So I would be doing the treadmill exercises, working my way up from a quarter of a mile an hour to a half mile an hour to 1 mile an hour walking, while watching my classmates and teammates, um, you know, playing in conference games, things like that. And I used it as motivation.
Mhm.
Looking back on it, might have been not the greatest way to do it. Little like self-torture there, which was a little, but yeah, no, it was
But
not
you did
easy.
it. You
I
did
did
it.
it.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we can't, nobody can undo the past. And
Mm-mm.
whatever you used, it got you through it, and here you are. I
Yeah.
think,
Hmm.
and I'm not
Yeah.
trying to rewrite your story for you or anything, but
No,
you did it.
absolutely.
And I think that is just, I think we're the three of us are just, this is the quietest we've ever been.
Hmm.
Just listening to you in awe of that experience, and getting back out there and whatever you needed to use for motivation. I don't care if it was ponies, like
Yeah.
that was amazing.
Hmm.
Ponies might have been better, but yeah, no,
Possible.
it was cool. It was yeah, there were some times where it was um I had to shut the live stream off of the game because it was too much.
Sure.
And other
Yeah.
times it was like, hey, like I made it to 1.5 miles an hour walking today. Like, and I watched my team beat our rival. Like, I'm gonna be back there next spring. I'm gonna be on
Hmm.
the field.
Hmm.
Like, there's no question, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so those were, again, ups and downs, right? You don't really realize how, what you take for granted being able to walk forward and back and sideways until all of a sudden it's taken away. So
yeah. Well,
and you
guys.
hear you hear all the time, like people say, if this happened to me, I would just give up and crawl into a ball, but yeah, the fact that you went the opposite route and you made it a challenge.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I'll say that sorry to interrupt, but
no.
I don't want it to seem like this was a seamless thing, right? It wasn't
Right.
like
Thank you for that.
I got diagnosed and I immediately started fighting. Like I broke down, like I was questioning everything. And there were stops along the way where it was like, do I want to continue at school? Do I want to continue at baseball? Like, there are always these things, questioning, and that's where that support network, that's where therapy, like all those things helped, right? And got me back to the field, got me back to my studies, all those things. So,
So you got some comments. Sorry to interrupt you, Ange.
Yeah.
Marissa Pereira says quitting was never an option, Freebs. And Andrew Freeburg says you're a warrior athlete.
Yes. So Riss is our manager at WPI, for the baseball team, and
Nice.
my dad. I actually got diagnosed on his birthday, so unfortunate.
Oh, jeez. Happy
Yep.
birthday.
So sorry about that, Dad, but I appreciate the support, and again, that network is always there.
It's awesome, man. That's what family does, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of us gets knocked down, we all get knocked down, right? But
Oh yeah.
I mean, it all takes us working together to get through it all. Sounds like you got a good one, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Ange, were you gonna say something?
No, I was gonna ask my next question, and now I'm
Fire away.
Well, I have to say, so you mentioned ALS, and talking to the Fradies and meeting Pete, and that must have been I don't know, actually, you tell us. I mean, like, how you obviously didn't have ALS, right? You had MS, and kind of processing that and seeing him. And I don't know at what point you had met him in his life, but I know he was in a wheelchair for a lot of it. Was there a part of you that was worried that was going to be you someday, or did you kind of see him also as this guy who just kept fighting the good fight? I mean, what was that like?
Yeah. It was tough. I met him. He was in a wheelchair when I first met him. He had a little bit of speech capability at the time, very minimal. And obviously things progressed the way they did. But I, kept in touch with his family, and him whenever he was around. He came to Blue Sox games all the time. So we got to see him pretty often. But it's tough to kind of think about how things could progress. And there is always the possibility that I could end up with a cane or in a wheelchair. We don't fully understand how MS progresses or why it progresses. And again, there's no cure yet. Right. And I have to, try and think of the positives, right? And try to understand that even if, even if those things happen, even if I progress to the point where I need help walking or anything like that, setting myself up, and my system up so that I can still function as well as possible, in those scenarios. That's where the preparation and the help comes into play so much, right? Understanding that, hey, like, with your family or with your partner, right? Like talking to them and saying, hey, like, this might happen, right? I don't want it to. but these are some possibilities, and just realizing that, hey, like I need to be as well prepared. I want to do as much as I possibly can and enjoy everything that I can,
Hmm.
um, to the fullest, but also understand that, hey, like, I'm gonna work hard, um, to raise funds for MS research, so that,
Hmm.
10 years, 15 years down the line, when someone gets diagnosed, at 19, that's playing baseball, they don't have to worry that, um, they might be in a wheelchair, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
In 20 years or something like that. So yeah, it's a lot of it is about just, trying to live in the moment as much as possible while also preparing, um, well for the future.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another comment from Carol Jones. That flare
That's
was
my
so.
mom.
Oh, your mom.
Yep.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Mom.
Hello.
Hi, Mom.
That flare was so terrifying, and she says you're also a warrior student and professional.
Thanks, Mom.
Moms are the
Thank you.
best.
Moms are the
Moms
Moms
best,
are the
man.
best.
Moms are
Yep.
the best.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that was a tough one. That was in the span of about 4 hours. I was studying for finals at the time. Um, and yeah, got some tingling in my toes, and then tingling in my ankle, and then calf and knee, and then all of a sudden I tried to get up and fell down, and like I could get back up, but I couldn't use the leg.
Hmm.
And Yeah, it was tough. It was not easy. Yeah.
Like, what do you do, man? Like, I couldn't imagine. Like, it's
It
like
was,
I got, hey, man, I got enough going on right now. Like, you're throwing this at me now? Like,
yeah,
give me a week.
seriously, seriously. It was yeah, I forget exactly which classes I was taking. Um I think it was, I don't know, like a heat transfer or thermodynamics or something like that. And it was an awful final. Um and Yeah, I think I was up on campus at like 2 a.m.
Did you
studying
get
or
an
something.
you get an A minus?
Oh
Hmm.
no, no. Um, but No, it was late enough where I think I ended up asking my roommate to just like come on up in the morning. Um, and it was like I just kept on studying. Um, and I was like, all right, I know what's going on.
Hmm.
There's not really, like, I'll keep monitoring it. But no one's around right now, so it's like, all right, like I'm safe, I'm okay.
Man,
Hmm.
Um,
Aiden,
Hmm.
though, that like that sense of like understanding too about like what you kind of needed to do to like power through too. Like that had
mm,
to have taken some time to kind of learn too, though, right? Like,
mhm.
like you said, like you kind of understood like what was going on, but having the ability and the mindset too to be like, okay, like I know what's up, I can manage it and keep going. Like
Yeah,
that's not easy, man.
no, it's yeah, it was an interesting, um like it was a tough experience. It was yeah, I did, like, I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. I was up in, what was it, Higgins Hall, I think it was, the WPI, Mechanical Engineering Building. um and my roommate had a final like the next morning, so I sent him a text at about 6. Said, hey, can you bring up my cane? I'm not feeling great. um and so I ended up, getting back to my apartment, and driving me to the ER after his final, and I knew what was going on. It was just a
Hmm.
matter of like, all right, like send an email to the professor, hey, can't make it right now. um I'll let you know when I can, and then go from there. So
I think, the clarity in which you kind of tell the history of your diagnosis and some of the things you went through, I think have
mm,
us all a little kind of speechless almost.
Yeah.
But you also have this way that you're talking about this kind of acceptance too, and correct me if I'm wrong, but just this, and it sounds like you're saying, this is where I'm at and these are my plans. And so I know that I can lean on these people. And I know that, the future is not necessarily known for me like it is for other people, but, I can do this and I can do this. Meanwhile, you've stuck with baseball. And I think as the three of us know, and I really do think that baseball is unlike any other sport, and that people who bleed the same color baseball bleed baseball, and it's a different love. And you've continued to play, and now you got hooked up with the Oldtime Baseball Charity Game. And so I don't know how much people are familiar, but can you walk us through kind of the game and what it is and the charity itself?
Yeah, absolutely. The Boston home is incredible. Um, so is the Oldtime Baseball Game. I got um, involved with the Oldtime Game in 2015. I believe it was. I met Steve Buckley. When was it? It was the winter of, I forget. Might have been close to before I was diagnosed. I think it was like the um, winter of 2014 or something like that.
And
Anyway, I
he's
met.
he's a news reporter, right?
Yep. Yeah, Steve Buckley. He's a Boston area guy.
Yep.
Been he worked at the Globe for a while. I believe he's with
columnist.
the Athletic now.
Hmm.
Um, but he has been running the Old Time Baseball Game since, I believe, '94.
Wow.
It
Oh wow.
first started, and I'm sure Buck'll remind me
Mhm.
of of when it was, but no, I believe it was in '94 during the first player strike, um, in '94 or '95, and he put it together as a way to like get local area baseball going again. And so they did it they did it first year, and then they were like, hey, let's just do it again. And then after a couple years, they were like, hey, like this is getting some attention. Let's like use it for a cause. So they started partnering up with a number of different charities. Um, so over the years, they've done a number of fantastic, incredible foundations. National Technical Institute for the Deaf out in Rochester, Compassionate Care, ALS. Um, uh, they did a number of them for the Frates Foundation. So Pete Frates was involved for a number of years. And then starting in 2023, um, we partnered up with the Boston Home. And so the Boston Home is a um, full-time care center for patients with MS and other neurological diseases. Um, so I have a full-time residential facility where patients can get full-time 24/7 care. They also have a building of accessible apartments that can be so patients with MS with mobility issues, but who can still live mostly independently, can live there with close access to MS care. Um, and so they've been doing this for many, many years. I want to say they were founded in like the 1870s or something like that, or they've
Wow.
been around for a very, very long time.
Sorry guys, I'm
I'm
fixing
sure
my
I'm
camera.
getting no worries. Um, I'm sure
We
that
were just
I'm
enjoying the
getting the year
quiet,
wrong.
Dan. Don't worry.
It was great. No, it's so they've been around for a long time doing some really fantastic work. But yeah, we partnered up with them 2023. Um, Shout
Yeah,
out
how'd
to
that
Allie and
partnership?
Vicky. They're incredible getting everything set up, and um, we've done it. This will be our third year working with them. In the first 2 years, we've raised over, I want to say, $180,000 um, through the game. And yeah, it's the first year I think was just over 80,000. The second year was, I believe, just over 100,000.
It's
Um,
incredible.
and this past year they just purchased a new accessible van to help some of the residents do different activities around the city. Um, so with the money raised from the game, so that was, and they brought it by the game this past year, which was awesome to see. So
It's awesome.
That's wonderful. Is A Bassett, is that your fiance?
yes, that's
Okay,
Amber.
because she said,
She's in the next room.
She said that you locked her in an office,
Yeah,
so that
she's
she wouldn't
kind of over
distract you.
there.
So
Yep.
you're going to be talking about that when she
Yeah.
does her internship.
Cool. Yep. Yep.
Careful, man. You mess with the bull,
But
you get the horns.
No, it's
she
exactly.
she
You'll
also
learn.
said that she's so proud of you every day, and she thanked us for having you on here, but we're really the ones who should be thankful.
Absolutely, man. This has
Yeah.
been fun.
Thank you.
Aiden, how did the partnership with the Boston Home, like, how did you get that to kind of come about? Like, was
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
go
So
ahead.
we were looking for every year we try to find a local area foundation that does some really cool work. And we ended up finding um, the Boston Home and realizing kind of the connection between um, MS and baseball, and it was just a perfect match. Really, it was. And um, yeah, Buck, my parents and I, Amber came along and we came in and visited the Boston Home, met with the directors over there, fundraising directors, but also a number of the patients, and it was immediately clear that it was like perfect match. So yeah,
Fantastic.
Yep.
yeah,
And already it's clear to see the money's going to some fabulous uses. And,
yeah,
what more could you want, right? It's like
yeah,
why we do the 100 inning game, like they raise all this money and, they're making strides.
yep, yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. And that's a lot of the, like, I go back to that point I made earlier, was like trying to help future patients that get diagnosed realize that it's okay, right? Like, um, things will be okay. Like, there are resources like the Boston Home, um, and um, there's research being done for a cure, but also in the meantime, there needs to be resources put towards care, right?
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
you can have mobility, you can have independence. These things matter, right? And so being able to help the Boston Home um, with that is has been incredibly rewarding.
And by the way, the website for the old timers game is oldtimebaseball.com,
Yep.
and there's a donate link on that website if you want to make a donation to the Boston Home. Any idea how much? And you might have said this while I was fixing my camera, but any idea how much that game has raised for the Boston Home so far?
Yeah, I think it's we're getting close to 200,000, I
Wow,
believe, um,
that's awesome.
in
That's
in
great.
about 2
Yeah.
years now. So coming up on the third year. So
When's
um,
this year's game?
this year's game, I'm gonna
Yeah, it's on the
make
Is
sure
it in
I
website.
August?
It's
August
August
20th, I
20th. Yep.
believe. Yep.
Wednesday, August 20th. Yep.
Wednesday, August 20th, 7 p.m.
It's always at St. Peter's Field in
Yep.
Cambridge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an
That's why I'm wearing
awesome
this.
field.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
I
I saw
Actually,
recognize that.
Pedro pitch there.
Actually, Aiden wears that. Didn't you wear that
Yeah?
jersey?
We wear the Roy
Uh,
Hobbs
I wear
jersey?
the
I thought I read that in an article that you wore
I wore
the Roy Hobbs.
I've been wearing Carly Strumsky for the past
That's a good one, too.
uh
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 years now, something like that,
All
six,
right.
7 years. Um, yeah, actually, 2 years ago, I ended up the Montalbano family was kind enough to present me with an award there for some of the work I've done with them, but for the game, and I ended up wearing um, a Cardinals jersey that uh, Greg Montalbano wore in the game, and so that was really special. Um, But other than that, yeah, I've been wearing the Yaz jersey, but we have all sorts of jerseys, and everyone has a story behind them, which is really really cool. We've got the Knights jersey, um, we've got Yaz, we've got Pesky. We've also got some really cool like Negro Leagues jerseys there. Trying to think of some others. Um, we've got Pete Frady's. Boston College uniform. So someone from BC every year comes and represents BC and plays in his uniform. So there's all sorts of
Some good
stories, all
stuff.
sorts of history with incredible work. Um, yeah, it's always a lot of fun. Um, it's the field itself is so cool because it's so
Mhm.
intimate.
Mhm.
If you've never been there, there's state like there's stands around the back behind the plate. But then down the lines, it's fairly open. So
Yeah.
we get
A lot of
people that'll
fans.
line the foul lines. You get people that are like 5 feet
Mhm.
from the foul
Mm.
lines and
Yep.
in lawn chairs, um, watching the game. And it's a lot of the time it's a lot of college players or recent post college players. So it's not like slow pitch. Like you got guys that are
It's real.
um,
Yep.
Oh yeah,
from BC that are pumping
bringing
mid
it.
Studs.
nineties.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would love to
Well,
ump that. We actually know a couple of the umps. Dave
yeah,
Tresca, that umped that
yep,
Yeah.
game. Something I would love to
I
do.
haven't
yeah.
done that game, but I've umped at that field
Yeah,
a
It's a
same,
cool
couple
field.
times.
same.
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
It's
good.
a really
Yeah.
cool
Me
field.
and Danny have never had much luck there. Our teams don't do
Yeah.
our
Yeah,
teams don't do well
yeah.
there.
But there
Yeah,
was a year Pedro Martinez pitched in
Yeah.
that game,
yeah,
and it was
Yeah,
Yep.
packed.
and
Tim
Clemens,
Yep.
Tim
right?
I saw.
Wakefield.
Yeah, I
yeah,
was there that year for
And
Pedro.
yeah,
Marloni usually plays.
Yep,
Hmm.
Jared
yep,
Carabas,
yep. So yeah,
Barstool.
I played. I was there for. I think my first year was with Jim Lonborg, um, and that was awesome. I got to warm up in the bullpen next to
Sick.
Jim Lonborg. Um, he made his entrance in his um, convertible, I think, out in right field.
Some
I'm
cool
thinking,
memories.
um, yeah, and then like we had Pedro, got to hang out, play catch with Pedro,
That's
hang out
awesome.
with Wake. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
mean, like there
it's
you go,
incredible.
like some great memories,
Hmm.
like
Oh
Hmm.
yeah,
yeah.
And in addition to that, you're still playing in a league, right? You're still
yep,
playing in the Dan's league, Dan,
Yep,
your
he's
yep,
league,
not. Yep,
give
one
your
of my
league. Yeah,
my teammate. Yep, no, teammate on the
yeah,
Senators,
that's what I meant.
VNBL.
In your
Yep,
team, not yeah.
yep,
yeah, yeah. It
It's late. It's been sunny.
yeah,
yeah.
it is. Yeah, yeah. I
There's a
pitched. When
video.
was it? Last weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
There's
Maybe I'll get to
a,
ump you.
a
Yeah, that'd be
video on
fun.
Yeah.
YouTube of Pedro pitching in that game, and the huge crowd.
Mm,
Um, yeah, on YouTube if you looked it up, Pedro
yeah.
Martinez takes the mound in Old-Time Baseball Game.
Was that
Yeah.
2016 or 2017?
Well, the video's from 2017.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
assume,
We had
yeah.
people like lining the
Oh
back
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
outfield wall, like
Yeah, that's
climbing
where I
over to
was.
to
Yeah.
see. Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah, they had this, the cops had the whole street blocked off.
Yep.
We couldn't
Yep,
even get
yep,
in.
yeah, yeah. And they
That's the
used to
way it should be,
broadcast it.
right?
So you're still playing. That's
Yep.
phenomenal. And just plans to keep on going until whenever?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Just keep on throwing, keep my
Hmm.
arm somewhat in shape and
And so when you're
keep
not
on.
pitching, what position do you play?
Uh, wherever they need me. But
Okay.
Yeah,
that's questionable if they need me anywhere else besides pitching because I haven't played anywhere else besides pitching in
we
a while.
certainly
So
could have used you tonight.
yeah. Yep. No, but it's I think I made my first at bat appearance in I don't know how many years. A couple weeks ago, it was not pretty. I'll say that.
Pitchers don't
That
hit.
happens. Yeah,
No,
I
they
know,
don't.
right? I was gonna say. Except I love that video of that college kid. Do you ever see the one where the coach he had to go in and the coach just said, just take it, just take the strikes, like
Yeah,
whatever. And he's like, no, no, no. Like I used to hit bombs. And so the
Oh
coach
right.
yeah,
was
yep,
like, okay, swing away.
yeah. I
And
seen
then he
that.
was like, I never hit But I
Yeah.
never hit high
That
school
was,
playing that.
it was LSU. LSU
That's right. It was
pitcher, I think
LSU. Right. Yeah. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking
We
of
try to
LSU.
reason with the coaches,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
once you start
Coach, I gotta
golfing,
tell you the
man,
truth.
that
Yeah.
swing goes downhill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real quick.
Yep.
So I've heard. So I don't golf.
Speaking of LSU, the College World Series has been great. First 2 games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't there an ejection, by the way, in the first inning? I heard.
Yes.
What, of today's game?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mom wants us to ask you about your shoes. What's up with your shoes?
My shoes.
Oh.
My shoes.
Yeah. Mom said
Well,
ask him about his shoes.
We can see behind here, actually. See if I can.
Love when
Pull 'em
moms
down.
are watching and they can give us
Right?
the inside
right?
info.
Yeah.
What
Thanks.
else should we ask, Mom?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. It's a
It's a loaded question.
yeah, seriously. So I kind of picked this up in college. Started doing some custom painting shoes. I've always loved painting my entire life, and yeah, so I started kind of customizing my own cleats, things like that, teammates' cleats. So in 2023, I did custom pair of Oldtime. Let's see if I can get them in the frame.
That's awesome. Oh, yeah, that's the
Sick.
logo.
Oldtime
That's the
Baseball
logo.
Game.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
sick.
logo.
So we did
Yeah.
that on one, and we did the Boston home.
Damn, I didn't know
On
you
the
did
other.
Oh,
that.
that's amazing.
Oh, Aiden, good
So-
for you, man.
I didn't know
Yeah,
you did
these
that.
were all white before, so yeah,
Wow, great.
changed it up
That's
and
fantastic.
so wore these for the game, and yeah, I've got them hanging out on the
Mhm.
shelf over here.
You gotta
So-
hook me up.
Yeah, can we
Yeah.
commission you to get like Dan's cats on his
Yeah,
cleats?
absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll get some.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're like I'm not familiar with it, but I'm sure there's like special like nice umpiring shoes like we can hook you up with.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get some cats going
Oh,
on
there,
there.
there's guys and gals that have YouTube channels painting like sneakers and
Sneakers
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah,
like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you should start
Yeah.
your own channel.
So yeah, I've done
that's awesome.
quite a bit with them. Did a pair. My fiance did these. One of her favorite artists, Chelsea
Oh,
Cutler.
will you hold that a little bit closer?
Wait,
to
hold
the-
on. Hold on, I can bring him in.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Dude,
So did
that
that.
is
She ended up
amazing.
That's
signing
awesome.
them here, so that was cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So I've done quite a bit with it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but
What are
These
the
are the,
balls on the shelf?
oh, let's see. What do we got? We got Papelbon here from
Tap.
Yep.
Pap was this past year at the old time game.
He played in the Bananas game at Fenway this past
Yep.
year as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Who is this? This is I'm blanking. I can't see him. But someone gave us Grady Little.
That's
Grady
probably
Hall.
where that one should be.
Yeah, right?
Oh, man.
Seventh
I
inning,
think
my
this-
ass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, there's this was I can't read this, but
I mean, you can
yeah.
just say it's Mickey Mantle. Make it up. We won't know.
Yeah.
Just-
I could, but
And then tell us where you live.
yeah, exactly. Yep. No, it's
Could have said Ortiz.
I think it was oh man, I think it was a Yaz ball, I think.
So cool.
A number, I think that was an auction item at the old time game. So they do all sorts of cool auction items like
Yeah, the
signed
silent
baseballs,
auctions,
jerseys,
right? Yeah,
like silent
yeah.
auction. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And yeah, again, all proceeds go to the Boston home, and definitely if you're around in the area, August 20th, come take a look and hang out. There's food, there's
Oh yeah.
baseball, there's bring your kids. Like this, you can hang out and watch some really good baseball.
And
We're all close by.
Yeah.
And every year, it always seems like I hear about like the game like a week before. It's always like at
Yep.
the last minute,
Same.
and that's like some of the like the message like we're trying to help get out is that any way we can help like spread the word earlier about a lot of these things, like please tell us how we can help, you know?
We should live stream it. What, you guys, we should live
Well,
stream it. Who
so
do we
they
need
used
to talk
they used to live stream it all the time. Brett Rudy, he does the scorekeeping, and I haven't been able to go the last couple weeks because Orazio usually manages one of the sides, and therefore I have to manage the Senators because there's usually a Senators game the same night. But we don't normally play Wednesday nights, so I might be able to make it.
That is true.
This year.
So let's make it happen.
We're gonna figure that out.
Yeah, we should. That'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
Because I've offered to live stream last couple of years, and I couldn't make it because I had to manage the Senators. But I would love
to connect everyone to talk to
Buckley and him.
Actually, Buckley was recommended having him on the podcast, so possibly.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I know he's close with some of the Senators guys.
Orazio, obviously, and
Oldtimebaseball.com, and everyone just where do you get the jerseys? Does everyone get those old time jerseys from?
So I'm gonna mess up the story, but they purchased them a long time ago.
They used to get like donations for them, and then they just kept a whole bunch of them, right?
Yep, they used to get them donated, and then I believe there was a donor ended up actually buying them for the game,
cool.
And so they were able to keep the full set. So yeah, every year it's like not new jerseys. It's they've had the same set for many years, and every year they collect them all back and they go into a specialized they're real wool. I can attest to that. They are all very hot, very itchy, so make sure if you're playing, wear like a good undershirt, right? Like because they get itchy and hot, but
and do you use the old school gloves too, like those old
some people do. Some people, I can't. I have enough trouble fielding as it is, so I'm not going to risk that. But
going up against 90.
Not going to happen. So
I know Bill Lee. Bill Lee is known for using the old timers.
He played in the game a number of years. Yep. Yeah. So he's
actually
been a
Bill
regular
Lee. He sat next to Angie's husband Zach, the Ephus movie.
Yep.
Yeah. Zach.
Yeah. Apparently they talked the whole movie.
Yeah. Bill's a talker.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Surprises me.
A lot of really great characters that come out for the game. Lou Maloney plays in the game regularly.
Yep.
I don't know.
He's getting to be a damn good announcer on the radio. I'll tell you what.
He is. There's some solid personalities at the game. So definitely,
he must have watched my live streams.
He must have taken notes. When to turn the camera off and on, like
when to fade out for dramatic effect.
My battery died. Apparently, the cat unplugged the cord. He's like still on it. Yeah.
Likely story. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's what we're going with. So, Aidan, looking into the future, what are some goals you have for yourself besides the Senators winning a title this year?
Keep on playing. Stay healthy. That's staying healthy, staying happy. Making sure the wedding goes off flawlessly.
Yep.
That's number one right now.
Just let her do everything, and you'll be good.
No, wait a minute. No, it's not good. No, Aidan, as a woman and as a bride, do not let her do everything. Ask her what she needs help with and how you can help.
Sorry.
No, better yet, the answer is just, okay, honey, what do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we've been working together for a while, so on this, and definitely a team effort.
Yes. What do you need and how can I help?
Exactly.
I love this. You look beautiful. Exactly. That sounds lovely.
And it'll be fine. It will go off fine.
Yeah, it always does.
that's number one on the list right now.
Hmm.
Amazing.
Make sure the wedding goes off well, and enjoying that.
Where are you getting married?
Yeah, do you have a location?
Yep.
Of
We're
course they
going
do. It's in
down.
October,
Yeah,
Dan.
yeah,
I don't know how this stuff
Hello.
works.
They
Come
had one a
on.
year ago.
Yeah.
yeah. It's yeah, we're going down in Connecticut. So
Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
it'll be
Nice.
nice out in the woods. It's
Very nice.
Nice.
yeah, we're big campers and outdoors
Oh, I don't know what
activities.
that's
So
like, but that's wonderful for you.
it's nice. Yeah.
It'll
Um,
be special
Sure.
with everything you've been through.
Yeah.
It'll be special.
That's where
Oh
me and
yeah.
my wife got married, Dee, right? We were
Yeah.
out in the woods.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Oh,
guys,
We went to
Yeah.
Lake
Yeah.
George for our honeymoon.
Awesome.
So,
that's
yeah.
lovely.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd,
It'll
I'd
be
send you money. I'd send
best
money.
best
All
wedding
right.
of
Yeah.
2025, Marissa says.
Yeah. Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
Congrats.
Once
It's good
once we
stuff.
get thank you. Yeah. Once we get
Mm-hmm.
that done, then yeah, looking forward. Just staying on
Just
top of the
Ponies, right?
health,
The ponies are
oh
after
yeah,
that.
and
staying on
ponies.
top of the
Yep.
ponies. Staying on top of the career and
Yeah.
family at some point and starting a family and yeah, just taking it one step at a time.
Is the
Honestly, just
fiance with? Is she with you? Is she nearby?
she's down the hall.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't hear she's been locked in an
Oh,
office so that
that was
she
her.
isn't
That was her.
distracted.
That
Yeah, that's
commented.
yeah. When you had
Yes,
faded to black,
She
we
can come
were
say hello
talking
if
about
she wants.
Her name's not
that.
yeah,
Rapunzel.
that's true. That's true.
Rapunzel. So did she know
But that's
about your?
amazing. Oh, sorry,
Sorry.
good.
Did she know about your MS? Like, was that
Mhm.
something that you were pretty open with early on
Yeah,
in the?
yeah.
Yeah.
That was I mean that was important for us to discuss.
Hmm.
It was definitely a um like that was something that we had to communicate. I obviously it's difficult to disclose that to anybody, especially someone that you're close with. Um, and so that's something that I wanted to be upfront about with her and just saying, hey, like this is not this is part of me. This is not all of me. Um, but this is some of what comes with it, right?
Hmm.
It's scary. It can be difficult. Um, but I'm going to be open about it
Hmm.
how do you feel about it? Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. And she
Um,
stuck with you,
and,
so she's a
and she
keeper.
stuck with me. So she's
Because it
she's
will not
there.
define you,
Your
right?
mom wants her to come say hi.
She says hi. She just waves. So
So are you both in grad school right now and getting married, or just
she's in grad
Amber?
school. Yep. She's
Wh-
she's at Cambridge College.
Amazing.
Yep. Um,
Is
and
she
Okay.
doing school
so
adjustment by any chance? Because she can come to her internship with me.
I'll have to let her know. I'll have to let
Yeah.
her know. School
Yep.
adjustment counseling. All right.
Yeah. Well, it's
Um,
it's the dual.
or
I'm the therapist, but in a high school. So it's tell her
okay.
it's the way to go. Summer's off. It is the best.
Okay. I'll
Yep.
I'll I'll let her know. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not in school right now. I'll probably end up going back. I'm working right now, so doing laser engineering and enjoying that. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
So
yep,
it's like everything's looking up for you right now, which is fantastic.
yeah,
And like I said, you talked about your history with such clarity and
mm,
finesse, really. It was just so eloquent. And now it just feels like things are feeling really positive,
hmm
sounding really positive. And I think my last question, I'm sure, I don't know if the guys have any other questions.
mm,
When you or if you meet athletes now who might have something going on with them, whether it be MS or something else, what is your advice for
hmm
them?
yeah. I mean, like with MS in particular, just taking taking the time to kind of like work through the acceptance a little bit is
Hmm.
tough, but it's worth it. Um, trying to ask as many questions as you can of your doctors and
Hmm.
trying to establish um, a routine of whatever you might need. Um, in terms of accommodations or things like that, especially if you're still in school. For me, I needed like more accommodations for school. I needed um, I decreased my course load a little bit while I was at school
Hmm.
after my diagnosis because I just needed more rest. Um, I needed more time because of the MS. I need a little bit more time to recover. And so reducing that course load, it did extend my time to complete my degree, but it allowed me, once I did that, my grades significantly improved. My like athletic performance improved, my general well-being improved. So things like that, whether it's physical but also academic,
Hmm.
just understanding like what are the resources I have, how can I, they're there for a reason, right?
Mhm.
You use them, right? Using the resources is not a weakness. Um, it is actually an incredible strength to say, hey, I need the
Hmm.
help and I'm going to use it is um, incredibly strong. So yeah, I mean, I'd say um, lean on your support system, and do what it you need to do um, to uh, be as comfortable as possible. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Awesome. What a story.
Wonderful words. Yeah.
You're a good role
Thanks for
model,
sharing it with
Aiden.
us.
You really are,
Yeah.
man.
You're doing amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Doing good
Um,
stuff. Absolutely.
so again, if someone wants to donate to the Boston home, they can go on the oldtimebaseball.com, and there is
Yeah.
a donate link on their website. And I know the Boston home also has it redirects to the bostonhome.org. Um, it links to sponsor the 2023 event. It's
I'm
an
gonna
old
Oh, she's
invite
coming
Amber
in.
in here.
Hey,
There
there
she
she is.
is. She
There's the
got
Boston home logo. Lean this way.
Oh.
There you go.
she found the key.
Yep.
She got out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mom
So
will be
yeah.
glad.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yes. Carol's
Yep.
happy.
Yep.
That's all that
No.
matters.
Mhm.
Aiden,
Exactly.
thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on and learning more about your story. Like I said, the
Yeah.
first year you played, I had no
Mhm.
idea. You hide it pretty well. Not that you're trying to hide it, but yeah, I had no idea. So it's great
Yeah.
to
No,
hear your
I
story
appreciate it.
and to get it out there. And hopefully we can raise some funds for the Boston home. Sounds like a great organization.
Hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks again for having me. And
Of course.
yeah, glad to help spread awareness and um, talk baseball and MS anytime. So
And thank
yeah.
your family for coming on and commenting. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
They are all
Thanks,
over
everyone.
the
Absolutely.
live. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
yeah, and apologies for not going live on Facebook. I gotta look into what happened, but we'll get it fixed for next week.
The
But
cat.
we will put there was a cat, yeah. We will put the episode. I'll put the episode up on the Facebook page
Hmm.
after it's over, so
Yeah.
people will be able to watch it there as well.
Thanks, Aiden.
Thank you,
you.
buddy.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much for sharing your story with us
Yeah,
today.
Of
We've
course.
been blessed with having wonderful people on, and you were
Yeah.
just fantastic and
Yeah.
set a standard. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
buddy.
having me.
Really
All right.
appreciate it. I'll see you Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Good luck,
All right.
boys.
Thanks,
Have a
everyone.
good night.
Where are you playing
All right.
Thursday?
Trum. Where
From?
else?
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll stop by. Maybe Betty and
Yeah.
I will stop by.
Come
Swing
on by.
Hang out.
Come
All right.
on by.
Yeah, why not? Why
Yeah.
not? I'm not working. I'm unemployed this summer.
Perfect.
Hey, me
Perfect.
too.
All
That's
right.
two of us.
Thanks,
Oh,
everyone.
but
All
you're
right,
really
thanks, Aiden.
unemployed.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Aiden.
All right,
Yeah.
buddy.
Bye.
Talk soon. Good night. Good stuff.
Oh,
Good
holy
stuff.
shit, guys. That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it was
I-
awesome.
I had to wipe away a tear a couple of times.
Yeah, you did. I
man.
saw that.
Dude, it's tough. Like
No,
you said,
it-
Ange, there's a lot of people that, especially men, it's tough being vulnerable, and admitting that,
Yeah.
hey, certain things happen and you got to learn how to, heal emotionally, mentally, and then kind of
Mhm.
saddle up and do what you have to do because you know what? there's no other way. Like, and like he said,
Right.
like, it's just a way of life now. And man, like I said, he's a
Right.
good
There is
role
another
model,
side. Yeah.
you
Right.
know,
There is
and
another side. Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
help out there. You got to use
Mhm.
it. You know, the
Mhm.
support systems, the support is there. The
Yeah.
support system, hopefully you take advantage of it and you use it. But
Yeah.
that's what friends and family does. You know?
Yeah. You know, and it was funny. I mean, well, not funny. It was interesting that while he was talking about his family, and obviously, Gib, you and I are parents, and Dan, you have cats, but we would do anything for our kids. And
Oh,
and as Carol was chiming in, I was thinking like, I think that if my son at the age of 19 got this diagnosis, I
gosh.
would be beside myself.
Gosh,
But as you know, we don't have that opportunity as parents, right? As
no.
parents, everything's going to be fine. We're going to get through
I'm gonna
this, and
figure
like
this out, and
exactly, I'm
I'm
going to
with
figure
you
this out. I'm with right
every day.
exactly, and to know that
Hmm.
the support system that he had was able to really help him. And again, and I'm going to say it again, that he was not stigmatized by going to counseling, by seeking out therapy.
No.
And what a positive aspect to a story that could have gone a different way. And
And
he's
his
still playing ball.
and like you said too, like his parents, like just being the type of parents to know that those things are out there, that not limit, like
Yeah.
like that. Go talk about things. Go talk about your feelings, your emotions. It's important. Like,
Yeah.
And again, how
like,
lucky we are to be in Massachusetts, where they have the best
Oh,
it's a
hospitals,
good point too.
in the
Like,
world.
it was something I thought about while he was talking too. Like going to school at WPI. Like,
Yeah.
like if he was going to school in, say, Oklahoma, would he
Right.
have those same things?
Nope.
Like,
Right.
I don't
Right.
know.
Nope.
Like,
Right.
and it's a testament that athletic staff that will look at you, will take X-rays if needed, will look after their athletes, making sure something else isn't going on.
Yeah, I know he
we are
does his
lucky.
infusions at Brigham and Women's.
Yep.
It's a great hospital.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about them. Like that's where Ma Dukes went for so many years and stuff. And I sat through chemo appointments with her and stuff. But man, they're all doing God's work, you know.
Yep.
But whew,
Anyway,
it's good stuff.
Great episode.
Great episode, guys.
Bottom line is, let's donate to the Boston Home. And
Yeah,
do what we can do to help. Right?
Show up.
And,
what is it? August 20th.
August 20th. Yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome game. Awesome charity game.
We'll plug that again, I'm sure, before the game, and if we get to live stream it, which would be so cool.
A few times. We have plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should.
Dude, that'd be fun.
But Ange, I think you have some news, right?
I do. I thought that I had posted it to our Instagram page, and maybe I did, and I am blanking, but for the first time...
Wait, we gotta play. Yeah. Come on. Go ahead.
So for the first time in Cooperstown, a 4-man crew was all female to umpire a game. It was amazing. The women who were able to umpire it had this awesome video that they had posted, and I thought that I had reshared it to our Fielder's Choice page, and I think I might have reshared it to my page, but I will definitely reshare it on the Fielder's Choice page. So shout out to them. So I'm on, I'm on all the umpire Facebook pages, as both of you are, but there's also a Women in Blue page, and it's very small. There's not a lot of us. And so we got to celebrate that with some of the women on there, and that was very exciting. So congratulations, ladies. I will post that later and give you that shout out.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
When did this happen? Do you know?
Last week, because the Cooperstown is having all the tourneys right now.
By the way, I went. Is it Jen Powell, the
yes.
MLB? Yeah, I went looking for her contact information. I wanted to invite her on the show. Maybe I'll talk to Noah. I'm sure he's got some contacts. Yeah, I couldn't.
When she does her first major league game, I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's for the Yankees. Yeah. I'm going. I don't care.
Her on.
Want to find it
on the show.
She's badass. If you see her, they'll show her in some games, in some AAAs where gets right up in there. She's amazing.
Yes. But next week we got Tommy Clues on, a long-time baseball interpreter for the EMBUA. He's been doing it for many, many years. And I know he's been battling cancer these last couple of years, and he hasn't skipped a beat.
No.
He refuses
Fantastic storyteller.
Yeah. We took the class, all three of us,
Yep.
took his class to get certified as umpires. He's got
I'm
amazing.
pumped. I love Tommy. He was
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
mentor in my first year. I still talk to him a lot, and I'm pumped to talk to him.
He is
He
no
knows
bullshit.
every rule
Yeah.
you can
Every
possibly
rule.
imagine.
Mhm.
He loves cursing.
And has seen it. And he's seen it.
He's seen it all. Yeah,
He's
got
seen it, and he'll tell you a story for every rule.
great
Yes, he will.
stories. Great stories.
Yeah.
a lot of
Um,
important questions I want to ask him too.
Yeah,
About
definitely.
Can't wait.
the position we're in too, and like what we've picked up along the way too. So it'll be fun to talk to him.
Yep,
That'd
definitely.
be great.
So yeah, it's been a long, long day.
It's been a long day,
has.
Dan. Go drink some Gatorade.
Yeah, same to you guys.
Take a shower.
Take a shower. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can smell
All
me
the
from
stuff.
there.
Stay cool this week, guys. I'm out of town
Yeah.
this week.
Tuesday's
so-
gonna be.
100. Yeah.
Hey,
And
Gib, can you
Zachary
leave
still
your?
hasn't put the pool up.
Come on, Zachary.
Yeah,
I know.
a quick shout out, D, if I can. So, my wife's grandfather used to work for
yeah?
the New England Patriots as the Patriots equipment manager back in the late 80s, early 90s. Well, he passed away about 5 years ago, but kind of similar to the Baseball Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame also has 3 different votings that they go through. Well, George Luongo, my wife's grandfather, got elected to this year's NFL Hall of Fame class.
That's awesome.
And is
That's
getting
amazing.
Oh,
inducted this
sorry.
week.
I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
right?
you're
Some
going
good
to
stuff.
Ohio.
So we're
Yeah,
going out to Canton, Ohio this week for the ceremony.
Oh, that's Gib, that's awesome.
Some good stuff. Yeah, they're all excited. So I'm going
Yeah.
out to play dead and do what I need to do.
And I get to
That's
feed the
right.
Yeah,
cats.
she's super excited. So big shout out to them. Georgia Wong,
Yeah.
congratulations.
That's
Bye-bye.
amazing.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Again, applause.
Yeah, so Dee's got another cat to take care of this
But
week.
please, can you leave that AC on for me?
Yeah, I will. They need it.
Yeah, Tuesday's going to be brutal.
Feel free to do some laundry too, all right?
I hate doing my own
I need to
laundry.
do some laundry.
Yeah, Angie's available.
So
So-
Zachary does the laundry in our house, but that's cute.
Oh, yeah, Zachary?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do all the laundry in our
Yeah.
house. So
Yeah,
I don't fold,
it's
but-
it's 2025, Dan. Gender roles are not
Yeah.
existent.
You have to show me how you
No,
fold.
not in
how
my
you fold,
house.
Zachary.
Yeah.
That's,
Oh, he's fantastic at folding.
yeah,
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is.
I change the oil in the cars, and I fix all the things. So
change the tires and all that.
Mhm.
That's it.
I could do
Does
that.
he wear a French maid outfit too while he's doing the laundry?
That he looks cute.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, it is 2025.
Yeah.
Men do
okay,
laundry.
That's all I
Plenty
need to
of
know.
it.
Yep.
Mm,
And
Yep.
dishes.
and
I do-
dishes.
I do my laundry at
Yep.
Gibbs.
Mhm, mhm.
All right, guys. Same
All right,
time
guys.
next week.
Next
Hopefully, we'll be back live on our Facebook page. But yeah, I'll post this episode on our page. And again, we're on Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Episode 8, guys. Nice.
Episode
job.
8.
Bring
Awesome.
on 9.
Yep. That's Gibbs' number.
I'm 10.
And so am I.
Are you? Oh yeah, that's right. We've talked about
That's
this
right.
before. Both catchers.
That's right. So we'll have to make episode 10 a special
Yep.
one.
We'll talk about 9 though, but 10 will be special.
Yes.
We'll deal with 9 first. then-
Although
Yep.
it's also my birthday, so 9/10 is my birthday. So we're all
Ah,
September
that's-
10th.
there you
Wow.
go.
Mhm.
We're all like connected. Weird. Some weird.
My
Num-
wife's
numer-
is the 8th.
numbers,
Yeah.
numerology.
Numbers.
Ooh.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
We'll
Peace
see you
out.
Happy
next
Sunday.
week.
Happy
Good night,
Sunday. Great
guys.
episode.
Happy
Good night.
Sunday. Good night.
Bye.
Stay cool.
Yeah.